He entered her kingdom. She didn't expect this. Queen Zara stood on the crystal balcony of her palace watching the purple moons rise over her world of Velthara. The tall, blue-skinned ruler had never seen anything like the small metal ship that crashed into her forest 3 days ago. Her golden eyes studied the strange craft through her viewing scope, while her advisors whispered behind her. The ship belonged to something called a human, according to the symbols on its side. Humans were supposed to be weak according to every galactic record Zara had read. They came from a small blue planet and had only recently discovered space travel. Most alien species considered them barely worth noticing, but this human had done something impossible. He had walked through the Crimson Forest where even her strongest warriors feared to go. The forest was filled with shadow beasts that could tear apart a Veltharian soldier in seconds. The trees themselves were alive and hungry, grabbing anyone who came too close with their thorny branches. Yet somehow this human had made it through without a scratch. Now he was walking up the mountain path toward her palace. Zara turned to her chief guard, Captain Nex, who stood 7 feet tall with 4 arms and scales harder than steel. His red eyes glowed with worry as he spoke. "The human approaches, my queen. We should send the full army to stop him before he reaches the gates." "No." Zara said, her voice calm but curious. "Let him come. I want to see what makes this creature so different." "But my queen," the captain protested, "humans are supposed to be fragile. How did he survive the forest? The shadow beasts should have killed him in minutes." "That is exactly what I intend to find out," Zara replied. The human reached the palace gates as the third moon began to rise. He was smaller than Zara had expected, standing only 6 feet tall with brown hair and strange blue eyes that seemed to hold depths she could not understand. He wore simple clothes that looked worn from travel and carried a small pack on his back. The palace guards surrounded him with energy spears pointed at his chest, but the human did not seem afraid. He raised his hands slowly and spoke in perfect Veltharian. "Come in peace. I am Jake Miller. From Earth I wish to speak with your queen." The guards looked confused. Most aliens needed translation devices to speak their language, but this human spoke as if he had grown up on their world. "Bring him to the throne room," Zara commanded. The great throne room was designed to intimidate visitors. Its walls stretched up into darkness, and the floor was made of black stone that reflected the light from floating crystals. The throne itself was carved from a single piece of red diamond and surrounded by the skulls of creatures Zara had defeated in battle. Most aliens who entered this room fell to their knees in fear. Jake Miller walked in and looked around with what appeared to be appreciation rather than terror. He nodded respectfully to Zara, but did not bow. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice steady, "I thank you for agreeing to see me." Zara leaned forward in her throne, studying him. She had expected to see weakness or fear in his eyes, but instead found something that made her uncomfortable. "Confidence. You survived the Crimson Forest," she said. "How is this possible? The shadow beasts have killed hundreds of my warriors." Jake smiled, a strange expression that Zara had never seen from other species. It was not threatening, but somehow it made her feel unsettled. "The shadow beasts are not evil, Your Majesty. They are afraid. Just like any predator, they attack when they feel threatened. I showed them I meant no harm, and they let me pass." "Impossible," Captain Nex growled from beside the throne. "The shadow beasts know only hunger and violence." Jake turned to look at the captain, and Zara saw something flicker in the human's eyes, something that made even her massive guard take a step back. "With respect, Captain, you are wrong. Fear makes creatures do terrible things, but understanding can calm even the wildest beast." "Prove it," Zara demanded. "If you truly understand our creatures, then prove it." Jake nodded. "I would be honored to demonstrate, but I will need your permission to enter the palace dungeons." The palace dungeons were where Zara kept her most dangerous prisoners, including creatures too violent to be allowed freedom. In the deepest cell lived a creature called a rage demon, a being of pure fury that had killed 12 guards before they managed to contain it. The demon was 10 feet tall with black skin covered in spikes. Its red eyes burned with endless anger, and its claws could cut through metal like paper. It had been in the cell for 2 years and had never stopped trying to break free. Jake stood outside the cell door while Zara and her guards watched from a safe distance. The demon saw him and threw itself against the energy bars, roaring with fury. "Hello, friend," Jake said quietly. The demon stopped roaring, surprised by the calm voice. "I know you are angry," Jake continued. "You have been trapped here for so long with no one to understand your pain." The creature tilted its massive head, clearly confused by this strange response. Jake began to speak to the demon in low, gentle tones, telling it about the forests of Earth and the creatures that lived there. He spoke of wolves and bears and how even the most dangerous animals could be peaceful when treated with respect. Slowly, incredibly, the demon's rage began to fade. Its red eyes grew less bright and its claws stopped scraping against the walls. After an hour, the creature sat down and listened like a child hearing a bedtime story. When Jake finished talking, the demon made a sound Zara had never heard before. It was almost like a purr. The queen stared in shock. This was impossible. The rage demon had been created by dark magic to be a weapon of pure destruction, yet this human had calmed it with nothing but words. How, Jake asked, still speaking softly to the demon. "Did you come to be here?" In broken words, the creature told its story. It had once been a peaceful being from another world, but had been captured and tortured by dark wizards who twisted its mind with pain and magic until only rage remained. It had been sold to Zara as a weapon, but had proven too dangerous to control. Jake turned to face the queen. "Your Majesty, this creature is not evil. It is wounded. There is a difference." Zara felt something she had never experienced before. Shame. She had kept this tortured, being locked away without ever trying to understand its pain. "Can it be healed?" she asked. Jake nodded with time and patience. "Yes, all creatures can heal when shown kindness. Release it," Zara commanded. "My queen, Captain Nex, protested. It is far too dangerous." "Trust me," Zara said, and she realized she did trust this strange human. The energy bars flickered off and the demon stepped out of its cell. For a moment, everyone held their breath, waiting for violence. Instead, the creature knelt before Jake and touched his hand gently with one massive claw. The demon spoke one word in its broken voice. "Friend." From that moment, everything changed in the kingdom of Velthara. Jake Miller became not a prisoner, but an honored guest. He walked through the palace freely, teaching the guards and servants about compassion and understanding. He showed them how to calm the violent creatures in the royal gardens, turning snarling beasts into gentle companions. He taught the kitchen staff how to grow earth plants that could feed twice as many people with half the space. He even helped Captain Nex overcome his fear of the ancient guardian spirits that protected the palace. But most importantly, he changed Queen Zara herself. The queen had ruled through fear and strength. As her people had done for thousands of years, she had believed that only the strongest could lead, and that showing mercy was weakness. But Jake showed her another way. He taught her that true strength came not from inspiring fear, but from inspiring hope, that the greatest leaders were those who lifted others up rather than keeping them down. Zara found herself changing in ways she had never expected. She began spending time with her people rather than just commanding them. She listened to their problems and worked to solve them instead of simply demanding obedience. The other alien kingdoms watched in amazement as Velthara transformed from a world of constant conflict into a place of peace and prosperity. Trade flourished as other worlds no longer feared Zara's armies. Art and music began to bloom as people had time for beauty instead of just survival. 3 months after Jake arrived, Zara called him to her private chambers. She had something important to ask. "Jake," she said, "you have given my people and me a gift beyond measure, but I must know why. Why did you come here? What do you want from us?" Jake smiled, that same peaceful smile that had first unsettled her. "I came because my people believe that understanding is stronger than violence. We have learned that the universe is better when all species work together instead of fighting each other. But surely you want something." Zara pressed. "Payment or territory or resources?" Jake shook his head. "All I want is friendship between our peoples. Earth has much to learn from Velthara, and perhaps we have some things to teach as well." For the first time in her long life, Queen Zara felt tears in her eyes. She had expected conquest or manipulation, but found only genuine kindness to be. "Truly are an amazing species," she whispered. Jake chuckled. "We are not perfect. We have our own struggles and failures, but we have learned that hope is stronger than fear, and love is stronger than hate." From that day forward, Velthara and Earth became the closest of allies. The partnership between humans and Veltharians became a model for peaceful cooperation that spread throughout the galaxy. Queen Zara often stood on her crystal balcony, looking up at the stars and thinking about the day a small, human ship had crashed in her forest. She had expected to meet a weak creature from an insignificant world. Instead, she had discovered that sometimes the greatest strength comes in the small.